Welcome to Becoming Limitless. This is the podcast for entrepreneurs who want to optimize their brain and their body with biohacking. I'm going to teach you how to eliminate brain fog and upgrade your health so you can have more productivity, energy, and growth in your business. I'm your host, Tanessa Shears. Let's jump in. Welcome back to the Becoming Limitless podcast. So I've been sitting in my office trying to get ready to record this episode for you, and a woodpecker is sitting literally just outside of my window, like pulling at the siding and tapping away. And I'm like, woodpecker, I'm trying to record a podcast episode. So needless to say, he flew away, so I'm going to get to recording now. But as you can probably tell from the title of this episode, this is going to be the season finale of the Becoming Limitless podcast. And this is a decision within my business that I definitely did not take lightly. And I thought a lot about it. And I'm going to talk to you a bit about what's coming and the reasons for it, and if the podcast is going to be coming back. So I'm so excited for you to tune in today. So after a lot of thinking and, talking to many of my friends that are in the industry and getting some coaching on it myself, I have decided that I am going to push pause on the podcast. Now, my goal and my thinking behind this is I love doing the podcast. I know you love the podcast because I get such great feedback from you every single week. So the goal is not to stop the podcast forever. It is just a pause for now. And the love, like I said, for the podcast has been amazing. We are like at nearly 5,500 downloads already in the first year. And I thought, what a better episode than episode number 50 to take the pause we need. So there's basically two big shifts that are happening behind the scenes in my business. One of them you won't know about until late November, and you can definitely keep up to date on all of the things biohacking and business and all of that kind of stuff on my Instagram, and that's at Tanessa Shears. And I make sure that I link that in the description for you because that is going to be the place where we're going to still hang out. And I'm going to tell you a bit more about that later. But the other big shift that is happening is one that I'm going to be telling you about at the end of this episode, and you can know that now. So I was thinking about how I could also make this a lesson to really help you see inside my brain and how to make challenging decisions in your business, especially when it is something that you love. So there are 3 things that I took into account when making a big decision in my business, especially whether you want to move forward with something or whether you just want to pause something, or whether you want to cancel it altogether. So I needed to look at my boundaries, I need to look at my time, and I needed to look at my energy. So when I'm talking about boundaries specifically, it is the parameters or the guidelines or the rules that I put in place around my life and what I'm going to make time for, both physically and energetically. So there's some questions I really like to ask myself when I'm looking at boundaries. And those kind of questions are like, what am I willing to do right now? Or what am I willing to do to preserve my energy? Or how would keeping or maybe even pausing the podcast, how would this affect my personal time or my family time? I could keep going, but what would have to come off of my plate for this to stay on? Because I totally believe that our brains aren't meant to continuously be loading on more and more things. So I'm always of the mindset that when something comes on the plate, something has to come off of the plate. And of course, the podcast was something that I ended up temporarily taking off the plate. So the other thing I think about is time, because we know we're given a finite amount of time. So what can I do that is going to create the biggest impact for my audience and for you guys, right? Is it going to be the podcast or is it going to be something else? And what could I do that would actually help more people in the long run? And I'm not just talking about now. If I'm looking 5, 10, 20 years down the road, what can I do now that is going to create the biggest impact and help more people? Am I serving my current clients at a level 10? And what do I want to spend my time doing right now? These are all questions I asked myself. And when I was looking at when I sort out my calendar every single Sunday, what am I continuously wanting to make room for if I have something new on my plate? So the last thing I always want to look at, like I said, there's boundaries, time, and there's energy. What can I give the most energy to right now? And most importantly, what do I want to give my peak energy to? So even though we always talk about this idea of, boosting our energy and having more consistent energy, I still find that there is a time of day where my brain is on and it is so sharp and it's exciting and everything like that. And I find that my best time for deep work is based on my chronotype of being a lion. So if you don't know what I'm talking about with chronotype, go and download episode 30. It's called the 5 a.m. Club Lie. It's all on chronotypes. But in that process, I found in making the perfect schedule for my genetics, my brain works most clearly and does the most productive deep work between about 6 and 10 a.m. So like I said, I have a finite amount of that specific energy, and I find that that's when I like to do the tasks that either take the most energy or need the most creativity. So if my podcast is taking that time in the morning, but there's something else I want to do that involves a lot of creativity, what am I wanting to give that peak energy time to on a consistent basis, right? And then not only talking about what we want to give our energy to, but what is giving me the most energy, right? Like, what am I enjoying? What is fun in my life, right? So like I said, I went through all of these questions, like where do I want to draw my boundaries? Where does time go to my family and my other things in my business, and my time and my energy? And I got coaching twice on this, actually, one from my coach and one from a friend in a peer-led mastermind that I have. And the decision became clear that now is the time to put the pause on our podcast. So what I really wanted to tell you before we sign off for our season finale for now is what is next for us, for me and for you and for biohacking and energy and how our brains feel and all of that. I want you to know what is coming. So I have planned some free masterclasses coming up, kind of like the one you listened to last week on the last week's episode called Raise Your Energy, but this time they're going to be on more micro-specific topics, and I have them coming up in the next couple months, so I want you to make sure you're tuned in for those, because those are going to be jam-packed with so many things that are going to be a lot like this podcast, things that you can take action on and move you forward. Number 2, I have really been upgrading the quality of my Instagram posts. And when I'm creating them now, I'm not just thinking about, posting on Instagram for the sake of posting on Instagram. I have been super intentional now about every time you see one of my posts, I want you to walk away with an aha about something that really shifted the way you thought. I almost want you to think of the post as a mini masterclass with a goal and a result that you can get from taking the concept I taught you and applying it. So I'm putting a lot of my energy into up-leveling the quality of my content. I've also been spending a lot of time doing what I call shower downloads. So I don't know what it is about the shower, but my brain loves to come up with new ideas. And I have a whole bunch of ideas for new programs that are brewing right now, and I can't wait to put that time and energy into developing those. Best part is that these programs that I'm going to be coming out with, you can get access to my best ideas and content that I've created and used with clients to get results over and over again. And they're going to be at a low price point. They're going to be something that you can jump in, take all of the knowledge, apply it, and start seeing results really quick. So you're going to have to either be on my email list or be on my Instagram so that you can keep in the loop when the new trainings come out, when the new content posts come out, or when the new programs come out. So the other thing I wanted to mention just before we jumped out for the rest of the year is that I'm going to be opening one one-on-one client spot for the rest of the year. So if you've been on the fence about working with me one-on-one and having all of this amazing biohacking content personalized for you, your business, and your brain, it's the time to click that link in my description or head to TanessaShears.com/call and book in your call. If you want that spot and you've been on the fence, it's going to be on a first come, first serve basis. And when I fill up, I am going to be closed for the rest of the year. So like I said, there's going to be 2 ways to work with me going forward and to stay in the loop. One is going to be working with me one-on-one, and the other is in my new program, which fingers crossed will be debuting at the end of November. And like I said, there's tons of free content, not only to my email list every single week, but to my Instagram. So come join me on Instagram. I'm at Tanessa Shears. Or the other way we can keep in touch, if you talk to me on Instagram, you can literally just send me a DM and say, add me to your newsletter, or you can go to my 12 ways to biohack your energy freebie and just opt in there, and that'll get you on my email list as well. That way you can stay in the know for when the podcast comes back, for new programs, for free masterclasses, for free trainings, and all of that fun stuff. So in closing, I really want to say thank you for all of your love and support and your ears listening over the last year. I have appreciated it so much, and I want to thank you just for all your feedback through Instagram DMs and email all the time. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you back here for the beginning of season 2 of the Becoming Limitless podcast. Take care, you guys. Bye. Ready to begin each day feeling energized and focused? I'd love to work with you one-on-one. In my Becoming Limitless program, you're going to learn how to optimize your brain and body with science and biohacking so you can be highly productive and grow your business faster. Join me over at TanessaShears.com/work with me. I'll see you there.